Hi everyone, welcome back to week 2 of the 2012 NFL season. Now, I only went 1-3 with my ATS picks last week. The 3 games that I lost, my teams combined to lose the turnover battle 9-1. And when that happens, you're going to lose. But the good news is that was week 1. We'll bounce back with week 2. Here are the picks. The first game we're going to look at has Houston going to Jacksonville, where the Jaguars are 7.5-point dogs at home. Both of these teams have very good defenses. We all know how good the Texans are defensively. The Jaguars are pretty good too, although a lot of people still don't know that. Last week, there were 2 games where the home team was the dog in a division matchup. And not only did those 2 home teams cover the spread, they actually won the game straight up. So I'm going to take the Jags plus 7.5. The second game we're going to look at has the New York Jets going to Pittsburgh. Again, another defensive battle, as the Jets and Pittsburgh both have 2 of the better defenses in the entire league. The Steelers' offensive line is really reeling right now. I think this number might be just a little bit too high, so let's take the New York Jets plus 6. The third game we're going to look at has Baltimore going to Philadelphia, where the Eagles are 3-point favorites at home. You know, they barely escaped last week against one of the worst teams in the league in Cleveland. I think Michael Vick is having a lot of problems. He had a terrible preseason and already is off to a bad start. Baltimore, I think, is going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. And so we're getting points. So let's take the Ravens plus 3. And the fourth game we're going to look at has Detroit going to San Francisco. Remember, these 2 teams met last year in Detroit. San Francisco knocked off the Lions, and then there was that big kerfuffle with the coaches. Just like Baltimore is going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl, I think San Francisco is going to represent the NFC. So let's lay the points and take San Francisco minus 6.5. Okay, here are our 4 over-under plays. I was 2-2 last week. We talked about the Houston-Jacksonville game. The line here is 41.5. The Jaguars only played 5 games that they were over last year, and in the 2 matches that they played against Houston, both those games went under. So let's take under 41.5. Oakland's at Miami. That number's low. It's 37.5. Miami only had 4 games where they went over. Both offenses are really struggling. I don't think Palmer, the quarterback for Oakland, is really grasping the offense yet, the new offense, and he's down one of his wide receivers, and Miami has the rookie at quarterback. The only way this game could go over the number is if they turn a bunch of the turnovers into a lot of points, but these 2 offenses are so inept. I don't think they'll do that. Let's take under 37.5. The third game we'll look at has New Orleans at Carolina, and we all know how many points New Orleans puts up. Carolina does the same thing. Both teams have very good offenses, not so good defenses, and I think this will soar over the 50.5, so let's take the over there. And the fourth game we'll look at has Washington going to St. Louis, where that number is 45.5. The Redskins won last week on the road. Will they win again? Will have another offensive performance like that twice in a row on the road? Maybe, maybe not. St. Louis defense is a lot better than last year under their new coach Fisher. I don't think they can score very many points though. So let's take under the 45.5. Here are my straight-up plays. The Thursday night game this week has Chicago going to Green Bay. You know, the Bears probably beat the worst team in the league last week with Indianapolis, and Green Bay lost to the best team in the league. The Packers really can't afford to lose this game. So let's take Green Bay. Tampa Bay's at the Giants. Same thing. The Giants are in a position where they can't afford to lose. Let's take New York. Arizona's at New England. This will probably be everyone's suicide pick. Let's take the Patriots. My Minnesota Vikings can make it 2-0 with a trip to Indianapolis and a win. Let's take Minnesota, but that's a bit of a homer move. New Orleans is at Carolina. This is a division game where Carolina is the dog. New Orleans lost at home. Now they're favored on the road. This is a bit of not a good situation for New Orleans. I like a bit of an upset here. Let's take Carolina. Kansas City is at Buffalo. Now, both these teams really disappointed me last week, and they didn't cover the spread. I took them both. But at least Kansas City is getting players back, while Buffalo has lost their running back. Let's take Kansas City. Baltimore's at Philadelphia. Talked about that one earlier. I like the Ravens straight up. Oakland is at Miami. My goodness, let's take Miami here. Cleveland is at Cincinnati. Should be an easy win for the Bengals. Now that Hayden has been ruled out because of suspension, let's take Cincinnati. Houston's at Jacksonville. This game could be closer than you think, but let's take the Texans. Dallas is at Seattle. Dallas has that extra couple of days of rest, and they've got some momentum. Let's take Dallas here against the rookie quarterback. Washington is at St. Louis. Mentioned that one earlier. You know, St. Louis traditionally gives Washington a lot of trouble. I still don't think a rookie quarterback can win 2 games in a row on the road. It's tough for good teams to win back-to-back on the road, let alone with a rookie. Let's take St. Louis. The Jets are at Pittsburgh. Should be a close game, but I think Pittsburgh will pull this one off. Tennessee is at San Diego. Now that San Diego's won a game in September, they'll probably win all their games in September and then just disappear in December. So let's take the Chargers here. The Sunday night game has Detroit going to San Francisco. We talked about that one earlier. I like San Francisco. And the Monday nighter has Atlanta hosting Denver, who looked really good against Pittsburgh last week. But Atlanta's really good at home. And I find that teams that are favored in interconference games, the favorite tends to win a lot. So let's take Atlanta. Okay, so those are my week 2 picks. Good luck to you. I'd just like to tell you about the app I made for the GioKnows Awards. Remember last year I did an award show where 5 different people won in 5 different categories, and I've come up with an app that you can watch their videos on your iPad or iPhone. Here it is right here. I've made a video which you can check on my YouTube channel, which gives a really good description of everything. So I hope you check it out. You can download it. It is free. Alright, for the GioKnows YouTube channel, I am Gio. Let's take the man's money.